there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with how you look. The only thing that's wrong is your mentality on the fact that you need to have something done at the precise time. So, welcome back to another episode of Unveiling Thoughts with Astrid. So, I'm going to dive into basically not letting people define who you are and your worth, not making other people make you feel insecure, and any negative feelings that come from the problems of other people. So, how to protect your peace and not let people step into your positive bubble. I feel like, especially as girls, we are so programmed to think that if somebody acts rude to us or if something happens to us, it is because of our looks. And if it's not because of our looks, we think something's wrong with our personality. I can only speak as a female perspective in this case, but I think that this probably happens to everybody as well. This is like the most common thing is what happens is when somebody does you wrong, that somebody's mean to you and there's something impacts you, we start to feel like shit because we're like, oh my god, this wouldn't happen to me if I was prettier. Why is this happening to me? Am I a bad person? Is my personality wrong? Is something wrong with me? But it's not. Of course, there is levels to self-reflecting and there are cases where you need to improve who you are. And also if you are questioning yourself these things, then usually you have not reached that full level of confidence which you need to strive. So you need to work on yourself, not letting these people impact you. So I already talked about how to not let other people's opinions affect you. This goes very hand in hand with not letting other people make you question your worth. So one thing is not letting opinions bother you. So okay, I don't care about what they think about me and stuff. But when something happens to you, to not let them question who you are as an individual. I mean, it really is just the saddest thing to see. We've all probably been there where you have a beautiful friend who's beautiful literally inside and out, and they're upset about something that has happened to them or something that has perhaps never happened to them. So, for example, if they've never been in a relationship or something like that, they start to question their appearance and who they are and that something's wrong with them. But really, you shouldn't let somebody make you feel less than. You can't let somebody feel like I'm a nobody. If you feel like this, of course, you need to work on yourself and you need to power through and do things that make you feel good, find things that make you feel good. But still, the fact that people let themselves feel horrible because of something that's happened or something that perhaps hasn't happened is upsetting. And I'm trying to say that it doesn't have to define you at all. At all. So, to go more into detail, for example, if you are letting something like no relationship or that you feel like you have bad luck make you feel less than, please don't. You should just work on yourself and your well being. Don't let something like society's program, like the fact that you need to have a boyfriend by the time you're 18 or to be married by the time you're 30 or anything like that, don't let that make you feel less than. Just do your own, drive your own race and make yourself feel good enough. Everything will come at its own time. Don't feel pressured about anything and don't let that make you feel like something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You just haven't had the opportunity yet. And that's so easy. It's not, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with how you look. The only thing that's wrong is your mentality on the fact that you need to have something done at the precise time. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say for people who feel like they're lost or they haven't reached their perfect career yet or feel like or they're still living with their parents or anything that makes them insecure or makes them feel like I'm dumb, I'm stupid because I still do this. It's not that. Don't feel like that. The only thing that's wrong is your mentality on these things. Just work on trying to fix your mindset straight and just go for what you need to go for. Another example of how people let themselves feel less than is by letting a person to define your worth. So if you've had something said by someone to you, or if you have been let down by somebody and they just, or you've been mistreated by somebody, I don't let that make you feel not worthy. There is again nothing wrong with how you look. There is nothing, again, wrong with who you are as a person. When somebody says something to you or acts a certain way to you that you can imagine yourself saying, I could never act like that to somebody, good. You should just be happy and realize that these are their own problems. They have nothing to do with you. Really, nothing to do with you. If people mistreat you, then the only thing you need to look into in this case is who you let enter your life and who you let come close to you. Because other than that, there is nothing wrong with you and there is no reason for why people should have to be mean to you and mistreat you. You if you don't think you deserve this, then you probably don't. But don't take this as a victim mentality to say everything is, wrong with me, nobody likes me, I'm actually beautiful, I'm actually this, no. Just realize that these people's issues are now being projected onto you. So if somebody let you down in case of relationships or career or whatever, and they were rude to you, you just need to say to yourself, the reason they're acting like this is their own problems. They have their own insecurities, their own troubles in life, and they're just trying to project it onto me. I have experienced this so many times where people have felt shitty in a situation and then they have said shitty things to make it even worse. So I feel the same way. There's so for example in a relationship, if two people break up, they're both obviously upset about it, they're both mad, and if somebody is then continuing to make another person feel bad after it's done, the other person will start to question, like, is something wrong with me? Like, am I not beautiful enough? Why are they doing this to me? But really, you've both been hurt by the situation, and the best thing to do is just to look at it from his perspective and realize, okay, so he's been hurt and he wants me to continue being hurt because otherwise, he will feel like I'm the only one suffering. This is again for friendships, for most situations like this, where two people are involved or more people are involved, where somebody has been hurt by a situation, or even if it's not by you, it could be by society, it could be by family. They've been hurt in a situation, but because they're hurting or because they have some sort of issues, they want you to experience those same problems. They want you to hurt the same way, which is why then you feel bad about yourself, which is what you shouldn't. You shouldn't let this define your worth and who you are because it's literally just projecting and taking other people's shit and taking it as your own. So, if you are dealing, for example, with an insecure person and they're saying a bunch of mean things, questioning how you look or whatever, they're trying to get you to be insecure as well. It's as simple as that. Even if they don't realize it and they may be your best friend or they may be your boyfriend or your girlfriend, they might not realize it themselves. But if after a situation or after a conversation you feel like you're slowly questioning your self worth and how you look and how your personality, you should just be aware of the fact that this is because they feel this way. Now, confronting somebody about this is going to cause a triggering reaction, so they're going to be triggered. Nobody wants to hear that they're insecure, or you point out like you're reacting because you're saying this to me because you feel like this. Nobody wants to hear that. If you try, they will react negatively, most likely. I mean, unless a person is, very mature, which is what we're trying to achieve, where when somebody receives this type of information, they act calmly and they go, you're probably right, or maybe I disagree, da 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 da. This is a healthy reaction. But it takes a lot of self work and a lot of a lot of realizations in order to come to the stage where you can take information like this. And it's something that we work on every single day because we have triggers about everything. Okay, so anyways, now I'm diving into triggers and projections and things like this, but really the best thing about this information is that you can take any sort of criticism, any sort of negative comment, and just take it as, I hear you, and now you can just decide, do I want this to negatively affect me or positively affect me? Because now you can decide, will I question my self-worth? Will I make myself the victim? Will I say that everything is wrong with me? Or will I take this as, okay, they're saying this because they were triggered, because they are hurting, or they're saying this because they're right. That does make me feel like that. So really, it's all about trying to see different perspectives, to just not take everything as it is. Not everything is so black and white. So when you see a situation like this, when it comes to you, you take it mindfully and you say, okay, I see why they're reacting like this, I can see why I'm reacting like this, and you move on from a situation much more easily. If you're somebody who's dealing with heartbreak, because I feel like many of my listeners are here because of love and my advice about relationships, um, if you feel as though somebody who, like your ex partner or situation or whatever, is at the moment trying to make you feel bad, or that you just feel bad and you can't explain why somebody would leave you, I would just say that look at it as a sign. You may come back together again at some point, but if you're really hurting at the moment because of situations like this, I would just try to move on from it by primarily just focusing on yourself, not really trying to figure out what is wrong with yourself. So because there's nothing wrong with you. If there are reasons why you guys broke up, of course, if you guys come to a point where you explain to each other what was wrong, that is very healthy and mature. But if you never found out like why this person left you, or never gave you a reason as to why they left you, I would suggest that just not trying to think about it so much. I just made a video from last week about how to stop overthinking, and really in these cases the best thing is just not think about these things too much, because the more you think about it, the more you hurt yourself and the more you start to question your worth and your beauty and who you are. So just take it as a challenge to say, okay, maybe I just need to, let go of that, leave that behind, leave that from last year, last month, last hour. You take that, you don't think about what's wrong with yourself, you just work on yourself and you do what makes you happy and you do you. That's what I would suggest. Anyways, I will now be wrapping this video up. I hope this makes you feel not alone, that we've all experienced moments of doubt in ourselves. But really, it shouldn't. Don't let anybody or anything define your worth. You're amazing. If you wish to talk to me personally about anything, any relationship problems, or anything that's going on in your life at the moment, and you feel like you need someone to talk to, I have a link in my YouTube description to my website where you can contact me. But other than that, I will see you guys all next Sunday. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.